never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It's a Thursday, so I figured since week number 2 of the Nascar season starts tomorrow, as far as practice and qualifying and all that, but really it starts on Saturday. So I figured we would go ahead and take a look back at week number 1 in case anybody missed it. I think everybody knows by now that I'm a huge NASCAR fan. Friday night we had the truck race, and the same guy that won last year's truck race at Daytona won this year's truck race at Daytona, and that was Zane Smith. Tanner Gray was second, followed by Christian Eckes, Colby Howard, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, Corey Heim, Matt Crafton, and Chase Elliott rounded out the top 10. They did not complete Friday night's truck race because of rain. I want to say they originally ran, I think, 75 laps, and they had like an hour and a half delay because of rain. And just about the time they thought the rain was gone, they could start back, they got back on the track and ran 3 laps under caution because it was raining again. And then when they got to lap 79, they called it, but they only run 100 laps in the truck race, so 78 completed laps was way more than halfway, so Zane Smith gets credit for the win. No truck race this weekend. Race number 2 in the old but new NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is next Friday. It's the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 from Las Vegas. And then Saturday afternoon we had the Xfinity race from Daytona, and the same guy that won last year at Daytona in the Xfinity race won this year, and that was Georgia's own Austin Hill, followed by John Nemechek. Now on TV they call him John Hunter, but I don't see why you need to go by all 3 names. Just be John Nemechek. Of course, he is the son of former driver Joe Nemechek, nickname Front Row Joe. Justin Allgaier, 3rd. Parker Retzlaff, 4th. Myatt Snyder rounded out the top 5. 6 through 10 was Riley Herbst, Joe Graff Jr., another Georgia boy, Ryan Sieg, Cole Custer, and Justin Haley. Race number 2 in the Xfinity Series is Saturday at 5 o'clock from Auto Club Speedway out in Fontana, California. And then Sunday afternoon, we had the Daytona 500. But Friday night's race, we saw Zane Smith win the truck race for the second straight year. Saturday, we saw Austin Hill win the Xfinity race for the second straight year. But Sunday, we didn't have the same result. Austin Cindric won last year's 500. He didn't come close to winning this year's 500. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. came home with the win on Sunday. He now has 3 career Cup Series wins, and they've all 3 been at super speedways. Joey Logano was second, followed by Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, and Alex Bowman rounding out the top 5. AJ Allmendinger, 6th. Daniel Suarez, 7th. Ryan Blaney, 8th. Ross Chastain, 9th. And Riley Herbst rounded out the top 10. Race number 2 in the Cup Series is Sunday afternoon at 3:30 from Auto Club Speedway out in California. So no truck race, but the other 2 series are racing this weekend. I believe the Daytona 500, I think, ran 212 laps of the scheduled 200. They went to double overtime. Some people like the overtime, some people don't. I honestly, really, truly feel like no matter what you do, people are going to complain, because it did suck back in the day when there would be 2 or 3 laps to go and there would be a crash, and then they would just keep running slowly under caution, and then they would finish the race under caution. So whoever had the lead when the wreck happened wins the race, and the last 2 or 3 laps are ran under caution. That does suck, but at the same time, now they've got it to where if there's a crash with 1 or 2 laps to go, they'll go into overtime so that they can try to finish the race under green flag. But what do you do if you've tried 2 or 3 times and there keeps being a crash? You can't run 100 laps past the scheduled lap distance to finish under green flag. Eventually the race has to end. So I can kind of see it either way, but it's definitely a good start to the season for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And as I said, race number 2 is this Sunday. Of course, we know there's only one off week all year long in the Cup Series, and that is Father's Day weekend in the middle of June. They run every other weekend during the season. Used to get Easter off, not anymore. Used to get Mother's Day off, not anymore. But tomorrow here on the channel, I am seriously considering talking about the whole fiasco now with Alabama basketball. I mentioned it briefly here on the channel right after it happened when I was doing one of my top 25 reviews, and I mentioned and brought up the fact that Alabama was having some off-the-court issues with the murder of a young lady, but I have not brought it up since then. It's been a couple of months ago now that it happened. I was hoping it would kind of pass over. It hasn't. It's kind of the talk of the town right now in the world of college athletics, and I try my best not to talk about stuff like this. I like to focus on what happens on the court, on the field, in the ring, on the track, whatever sport we're talking about. But this has been going on now for so long, and so many people have opinions on it. So I'm thinking about talking about it briefly tomorrow. If I do, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about it because there's still so much we do not know. But if you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know so that if I do talk about it, I will know your opinion and your thoughts on it. But that'll be tomorrow if I talk about it here on the channel. I'm still not sure only because I know it is the talk of college athletics right now, but I just don't like talking about negative, down stuff. So I'm not sure that I'll talk about it, but I'm thinking about talking about it. Don't forget about Homes for Our Troops, the publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What did the bra say to the hat? You go on ahead. I got to give these two a lift. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of three. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.